This is my living scrapbook. Only 10 months worth of scraps. And this is how I live life scrapping. Let's start with the middle. We have a lot to catch up on, both September and October. So let's see what the scraps say. I went skydiving, celebrated 7 years with Barry, went to my cousin's wedding, Jaslyn turned 22, carved a pumpkin, and put it on my head. And of course, Halloween, and everything else in between. Bringing it back to the beginning of September, I didn't complete all my goals, but I did complete a big one. This mantra section was different. It was alright. I went hard with the special event stickers over here. If we compare that to October, it looks the same, but I did complete a coffee table. I didn't use this section as I normally would, and I regret it, but it's okay. Overall, October was busy, but I had every Wednesday off. The friend. The one thing I did want to highlight about the trackers is that we're already halfway through November and I have yet to finish October. It's okay if you skip a day, heck, weeks. A literal piece of my wall. I don't know when your meat's done. I feel like I'm drowning in ideas. This is where I write it down, and these are potential videos if you want to take a peek and let me know what you think. Back to the middle. For both September and October, I relied heavily on scrap flaps, and it's making the book wider significantly. But let me tell you, the amount I could fit is just insane. Like, here we go, scrap flap. Here we go, scrap flap. Here we go, scrap wallet? A scrap flap wallet? I don't want to call it, but yeah, incredible. Inside the wallet, you can find a card that Barry made me, along with a letter he wrote. On top of that, I wrote a journal reflection about what we did that day. The options are pretty much limitless when it comes to scrap flaps. As you can see here, I have pretty large ones of souvenir things. And over here, I have ones of just grocery lists and to-do lists. In September, I did a double-page spread for each week, and you'll see in October I did things quite a bit differently. Before we move on with October, let me show you the cover real quick. We have pressed pennies, table assignments, new stickers. Anything goes on the cover, as you can see. There are no rules. I like giving the cover a 3D element. I have a question for you. I am collecting notebooks at the moment, and I would like to sell them to you guys. And when you're like, where do you find your living scrapbooks? Would you buy it directly from me for next year? Serious question. Okay. Back to the middle. Another cool scrap flap I have in September is this envelope that I received as a thank you letter. And I used the original envelope and original letter, obviously. I also have a scrap flap of chips and quotes and journal reflections throughout. You know how I do things at this point. This iconic stamp was received to me in the mail this week. Thank you, John and Taylor. As you can see, this is the week my cousin got married. Underneath the scrap flap, I have a journal reflection. For those of you that want to be a little bit more private, I recommend scrap flaps that can cover your journal entries. The week of Jaslyn's birthday. She had a curtain in her doorway that kept falling apart, so here we go here. One of my favorite parts of looking back at my living scrapbook is unfolding all of these flaps. And the week after that was Aldo's birthday. I have a new scrap pal, Ray, who found me on TikTok. The back. I've just been keeping up to date with the Scrap Pal things, the Aldo things, and yet another quotes page filled entirely in. So I thought that was pretty cool. Back to the middle. So here's October, and obviously heavy on the orange this month. Heavy on the scrap flaps and heavy on the orange because I love orange. See? I I told you I got this really amazing butterfly coloring page from another scrap pal of mine, Abby. Thank you. This is the final result. And also over here I had a journal reflection, which I haven't done for a couple of months, and it felt really good to describe who I am. I recommend you try. This week was a little chaotic, as you can see. The beginning of October didn't start until a Friday, so I figured making a whole spread for that 3-day week wouldn't make sense, so I included 2 weeks in one. And the flaps and the scraps, they speak for themselves. Scrappin' gets scrappy, if you know what I mean. Here I am pulling out a stapler to fix up the joint. I also have an October bucket list, a fall bucket list, but meh, whatever. I didn't finish the summer one, who cares? So for the rest of October, one page is my plan, the other page is just the scrap, kind of collection base, if you will. And here's that collection base. As you can see, there's a lot. And as the rest of the year is going on, I'm honestly getting pretty lazy with explaining which each one is, but thankfully, I'm realizing that the scrap itself is the memory. Another neat thing that I did in the month of October was use hot glue on the edges of paper and then put it right in the bind, so that way I could use that as a page itself. So I did that here with the chicken noodle soup recipe and the mac and cheese, as well as the sweet and salty signs that I put outside for Halloween. It's been a hot second since I showed you guys a time lapse of me putting together one of these scrap spreads. So here you go. Sit back, relax, and scrap. Voila! The final product! Ain't she scrappy? That means it's cute. Wherever you see a blank spot, just assume that I'm gonna put a journal reflection there eventually. I always try to accommodate future Jacqueline when she wants to just randomly journal, if you know what I mean. And here, these two leaves were actually just being pressed within the middle of this notebook for the longest time, and when I came across the page, I was like, you know what, like it feels wrong to take these and put them out on another page because they've been here for so long, so I kept them. It's kind of random, but that's what this living scrapbook's all about. More scrap pal letters. I received 3 at the end of October alone. I'm going to be making another video going more in detail about scrap pals and offering an opportunity to you all if you'd like one yourself. I'm so excited. To start another living scrapbook, to finish this one, just to continue living life scrapping for the rest of my life. I hope you get just as excited about living life scrapping as I do. And if you don't, I'm shocked that you made it to this point of the video. Well, as always, I'm curly-headed red, even though I'm straight-head red right now. But curly-headed red is the Instagram, @livingscrapbook. It's been months since you guys sent me something, but it's okay because that Instagram page may be taking a different turn with the new year. But I love you all so much, and I decided to call you my cuties. Let me know what you think about that. Take care all, and I'll see you next time.